What is up, everyone? Volathis here, and Final Fantasy XIV has dropped the patch trailer for patch 5.2 Echoes of a Fallen Star. So we're going to go through here, kind of watch and try to break down and analyze what's going on here. This was dropped earlier today, and I've probably watched it like 3 or 4 times, so it's always... Usually when these things... I have to just keep watching it as soon as it's announced. So we have a ruby weapon here. I'm assuming this is showing someone obviously in the cockpit of it, and not much to go from there, but possibly a character we'll be interacting with. And they're dropping in, and I believe this took place, or the trial will be taking place near, I believe it's the Gimli Dark Dungeon, where we were fighting with the Garleans. And as we can see here, Ruby Weapon was doing some kind of dash through, kind of like maybe a dive bomb mechanic. Doing a yell there, stomping in with his stompers there. Might be a mechanic, and it has really long claws. And then looks like Ruby Weapon stabs in the ground, and then those claws will come out of the ground as spikes and hit us. I believe these are people that work for Gaius. No? Maybe there's someone else. I can't remember, but that's Gaius right there talking with Raban to explain what's probably going in the Garlean Empire, and he's explaining how he's helped with these things, doing some kind of slash. I see a bunch of AoE markers on the players in this trial. Something over here, look. Oh, sorry. I'm hovering it over with my mouse, but my webcam is in the way, but it looks almost like shark fins. Like you see shark fins in the ocean. That's what it reminds me of. It's a weird thing to think about, but I'm assuming that's some kind of mechanic, or maybe it's a visual effect. If it's a mechanic, I assume that those fin or claws are going to come through a particular direction. We'll have to dodge them. And just a machinist doing... I think that's Bioblaster. And then there's some chains, and then it looks like Ruby Weapon is firing lasers off. I'm assuming maybe where there's going to be a mechanic, we imprison Ruby Weapon, and it does some kind of attack while this is going on. And this is back on the first. I believe this is referencing the new dungeon. I'm not sure if this is, obviously would be related to the main scenario quest. It's probably in the new dungeon based off the area where we're at. Each stall is interacting. That's one of the bosses in the new dungeon. And then it looks... Sorry, it's late at night and I'm having tons of brain farts trying to think through, but the cute little man that we seen earlier, it looks like it's popping out of something and might be a boss? Not sure. And then we have the Kieran here, and we're going to be in the Ricotta Greatwood, and they're interacting with the Warrior Light.
Ideal forms to be
okay, this... Looking at this, I'd have to say this is probably the ocean fishing that we're going to get in patch 5.2. I see a little instance marker there, but it looks like I see a bunch of fishers out in the ocean. So I'm going to say it's the ocean fishing. And then I didn't know what to think about this earlier. I thought it was a machinist, but after looking into it, this is going to be one of the gatherer moves in the new Eureka, which is a gather focus, and you build up to get these special charges, and we get a little rocket launcher to use. More examples of the new dungeon. Okay, I see an Astro that might be Urianger, but obviously, oh, I skipped a little bit ahead. Sorry about that. Another boss here, kind of looking like a Saha again, but I don't remember what the first version. And then we saw this boss here, and we're kind of moving like we're on tracks or something. Oh, he has hands in the background. I just noticed that. I didn't notice that before. I'm getting living liquid flashbacks. And we have Gaia has finally woken up. Doesn't look like she's too happy. Maybe she's gonna try and help us. Maybe not. She's harnessing some darkness. We have this weird boss here. So these look like birds, but almost like it reminds me Spirited Away with like the paper dolls. But obviously, I guess these would be like doves or something. Like they look like birds, but they're like paper thin almost. Very thin. And some jewel in the background. And then these birds are like protecting the jewel here as we're fighting it. Looks, I think this is also some preview of the raid gear that we're going to be getting from this raid tier. And then some mechanic where those some of them get corrupted with darkness and attack us. Okay. And then we have Ramu, and he is looks like a centaur here with wings. So it'd be like a Pegasus centaur, I guess you could call it. And we're going to be fighting him. Some lightning strikes. I see some orbs going on. I guess they're just coming in. And then we have Garuda and Ifrit. I get kind of like Final Fantasy 15-ish vibes because he's very humanoid. And then we have Garuda. Basically has a lot more wings. Her eyes are a little bit focused. I'm not sure if these are referring to a particular type of Final Fantasy. I tried to see if it was like Final Fantasy VIII, but they don't really look that similar to Final Fantasy VIII. Okay, so we're going to be fighting them both at once. And the environment looks like it's changing, or maybe perhaps the arena we are in, half of it is wind focus and the other is fire. I'm not sure. Or maybe the environment affects what we're doing in that phase. Do we see nails? I don't think we saw any nails. It reminds me a bit of the Omega fight with Omega female and male, because it looks like perhaps in this fight, from what I can tell, is maybe one phase we fight Ifrit, Garuda, and then we fight them both. Or maybe the camera is just angled that way so it looks like we're only fighting one at a time. But there's definitely proof at some point we're going to be fighting both of them. So you tanks can have fun with that. And then it looks like we're in the Great Rakata Gate Road. And then we have some kind of prophecy here. Can't really make out what's going on. I think it's meant to mean two people. So maybe referring to the Warrior Light and the Split. Or something of that nature. I see some meteors coming in. I don't remember who that is. And then that was the person that helped us earlier. And then we're generating some kind of storm. We've upset someone. I can't tell who that voice is. I think it might be Gaia. She's... But it looks like she tried to either steal the darkness from it, or maybe it's trying to corrupt her with darkness. I can't tell, but something obviously didn't work. Some ghosts of the past. So... we have the Garlean Empire, but isn't this where Alamico is? It looks like that. Perhaps it's another Garlean city, but it looks like to be in the Alamico area. And then Yashtola's, I think she said it was a coffer or some part, or a treasure trove, so maybe they're finding a relic that's going to help with them getting back to the source. This is Greatwood again. I assume it would be linked to... probably to the main scenario. Those all look like players.
This is mere coincidence.
Okay, so it's definitely got to be main scenario because it's not a dungeon. Because we see... pretty sure that's Sid right there. So, and then Albert, but I thought Albert was gone. And then I assumed that this would be Hydaelyn. Or at least a representation of Hydaelyn. We can obviously see We are back on the source with Sid. We're fighting some Garleans. And then we have the person here. Trying to go back. She was linked to the Raid Alliance, so the like Final Fantasy 12 / type tactics raid. And then we found some white crystal to probably help with the transfer. Okay, so then she's helping us. We're in the Garlean Empire with Sid. I saw some like test tubes or something. Let's see if I... Yeah, like in the background, maybe some like experiments or something of the Garleans. And as we see, Sid has seemed to hurt himself somehow. Either he took a great... Well, he's holding his side, so I assume he took like some kind of blow to the gut, and she's obviously concerned. Would make sense. I just don't understand because I thought Albert was gone, but... And it looks like the Scions are coming back, everybody. So if you were ready for that, then we got Xenos here. It looks like he got an outfit update, and then Guy is going into some kind of darkness. So we'll have to figure out what that is. But it also looks like Xenos is in Armalt, the dungeon that we did with the Cataclysm. And then perhaps he's getting more corrupted. And then another very important thing is Dalamud, which was very important to the story. And it looks like we're going to see... Okay, so the thing they also pointed out in this little prophecy is it looks, as the patch says, echoes of a fallen star. So this could be the parts of Dalamud, because we should see here Dalamud is going to explode, as it did in the past. And perhaps adding more to the story is perhaps Dalamud is what caused this great calamity. And then we have the artwork, Litibus here. And he says Emmett Silk. How unlike you to end so gravely. So let me know in the comments down below anything that I missed or something you can add to this. Like I said, this happened earlier the day, and I'm finally getting time to discuss this with everyone. There's definitely some stuff I missed, and I always have to refresh my memory on Final Fantasy XIV with stuff like this. But the trailer's hype, as always. They do such a great job, and I'm really interested in the raid tier. So also add on what from this trailer are you most excited about. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, as well as subscribe to my channel to stay updated, as well as ring that bell for notifications. And with that being said, my name is Volathis. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.